Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the World Awards page. The first time that I've actually attempted to do this, but I'm here for a reason. Because two of my players got the top 3 in the NXGN award. And in fact, if you're interested in seeing these things, I'll go through this right now for this year in particular. And show you just how old some of these players are. Like Benningham's 30, Palmer's 31, as is Elisa. So they're older players at this point in time. Jean Garcia, Tommaso Martinelli and Lucas Xavier are in the top 3 goalkeepers. Vinicius Jr. still at Real Madrid somehow at the age of 33. Bellingham's there as well. Haaland's at PSG, so that's a problem for me. And again, Unai Simon at Juventus, Donnarumma at Real Madrid. So there's a few things to look at here. But as I'm looking at the best 11 for this season, there's actually a new gen in this list, by the way, in the starting lineup in the form of Luciano Capone, who's at Barcelona. Now, admittedly, they also want solid high, but that is a thing. These are the players in the best 11 for the team of the year this year, and these are all the players in the last 9 years that are in the overall best 11. No new gens, but there are some recognizable faces, and no surprise that's the case. But anyway, there are some new gens in this list, and you tend to get to this point after a certain period of time. I believe the 29 and 2030 season was the first one where we had a new gen in this. Robert Cortiero is here, and then it's literally just new gens throughout on this point. So there are a few people you might recognize, like Luciano Capone got into this list just 2 years ago. He's quite good now. And there are some players here from UAE, for example. But the reason I'm here, and not this, as Cole Palmer has won the Gold 50, the reason I'm here is because the next gen list, 2 of my players on this list, I didn't get first, but I got second and third. So D1 Camps is in the top 3 for the second time in 3 years. But Abdelaziz, Ferhat, and Thomas Dresden are in second and third, respectively. So let's go with the players first and foremost. This is Ferhat now, that got second place in the Next Gen Award. As you can see, he's quite a good player these days, and he deserves to be considered the second best young talent come through the world at the moment. Remember, Ferhat and Dresden came in the same youth intake. And this is Thomas Dresden, who's also only 18. He is wanted by Liverpool, but I've also gone tied down on a brand new contract. So there is that. But that's the thing I wanted to talk about first and foremost. We got these 2 players now on brand new contracts. It's very happy days. I'm delighted that is the case, and we won't have to worry about that for the time being. That being said, we've had a few games since we last met, and since the youth intake has arrived, shall we go over them? The first game we had was this 3-1 defeat against Monaco directly after youth intake happened, and we won up inside 5 minutes, then conceded 3 goals. And it's never a good sign when you're losing by this sort of scoreline after taking the lead, but they deserved the win. They were that good. They honestly deserved all 3 goals. We just did not turn up for whatever reason, and we just could not cope with Monaco's prowess. The next game was the game I thought we would win to end our drought, but no, we had to come from behind against Metz to get a 1-1 draw. At least we didn't lose, but I tried at least 2 new formations in this game alone. Yes, Ferhat was playing as the attacking midfielder. Did quite well, to be fair, but we only got a goal from a corner after Nurmi got on the end of a loose rebound, but it was frustrating that we didn't do well. I was hoping for bigger and better things against Metz. But the bigger and better thing was this 4-0 victory against Auxerre. Ferhat with a brace of assists and a goal to his name. Happy days. Diarra Sober also got a goal and an assist. So we're looking good at this game. And this is probably the best time to really showcase that, yeah, we're not bad. It did help that Auxerre were trying to go for a 4-2-2-1 formation. I don't think I could show, but they at least had no wingers. And they had 2 centre midfielders, 2 attacking midfielders, and just 1 striker. We just carved them open easily using our wide players because we got Ferhat and Solly here on the wings. You're going to have a good time against a team that doesn't play any wingers and relying on their fullbacks to do the damage there. But we won, and it was a relief because of my first victory since January. Also, they had no shots on goal, which I guess goes to show you just how good we were on this day. So when we go to Marseille and beat them 2-1 and actually deserved to win, I could not have been happier. This was Laverne getting the winning goal. It was his first goal in God knows how long, 8 hours or something ridiculous. I think it's his first league goal of the season and maybe his second goal all season. So he's not been good. But yeah, we beat Andre Villas-Boas' Marseille by 2-1. and it was a delight. The next game we had was a 2-1 victory over Lons, Furhat with a goal, and Sodihi with a goal as well. Yobot started to showcase why I'm really using him as a right back, because he got 2 assists in this game. It could have been 3, to be honest with you, but it's one of those days. Then we got abused by PSG and lost 4-0. This was a game that we were never expected to do anything from, and it's one of the reasons why, and perhaps the reason why I'll say that Ligue 1 is probably going to be one of those things I'll only win once I won the Champions League, because PSG are too good right now. Their players are ridiculous. They even go for 3 midfielders and they still abuse me, so it's frustrating. But the last game of the season we had was this 3-0 win against Nantes, and I'm happy. Solihi, Diarra and Diarra all getting goals. This was a relief, because this actually was almost deciding who'd finish in the top half of the table, because not winning in 2.5, 3 months in all competitions does take a toll on your league performance and your league position. Yes, we only finished in 9th place in the end. Admittedly, it's actually only 1 point off than what we did 2 years ago when we got in 7th, which goes to show you just how much we were a bit unlucky in some regards. But this has been my worst defensive season in a while in this division. Last year, we only conceded 40 goals. We've got 64 goals. So that's already a big jump in itself, that we just had 14 less goals, but we conceded 5 more goals. And the year before, we were finished in 7th. We got 52 points, but we conceded 40 goals and scored 45 goals. So, in fact, it's actually been our second best attacking season so far. It's just that the defense was a bit weaker this year, and it's frustrating, but what can you do? And if we look at the home record, and I'm going to just showcase this, we were in 9th place at home with 29 points. We literally were just about a top half team at home this year. It's our away form that's the problem, I think, isn't it? No, we're actually higher. Oh my god, we're actually in 8th place at home. So, yes, we lost more games away from home. Yes, we conceded 25 goals, which is where our defensive problems is, and we're literally only scoring a goal per game away from home. But we've got more points at home, but are in a higher position away from home. So clearly there's a problem there to fix. I would like to know why we were so bad. In fact, let's go to the first half of the season. We weren't even that high up the table either way. Look at Lille. They were 2nd place and they fell down to 6th. Strasbourg gained 2nd is ridiculous, by the way. We were in 8th place in the first half of the season, and we look at the second half. We fell down to 10th. We did win, not for the last 5 matches, to be fair. So, put that into context. Take away those 4 victories. We only had 2 wins until the last 5 games of the season in the second half of the year. That's not good enough. 2 wins, 5 draws, 5 defeats in the 12 matches before the last 5 matches. That's terrible run of form. I don't know why it was so bad, but it completely ruined our season and any chance to get the top half and European football finish. We got a top half finish, but we wanted European football. We didn't get it, and it's a thing we need to fix next year. Defensively, Monte leaving did hurt us, and it's one of those things. Speaking of Monte, he's playing the Premier League right now, isn't he? This is Monte now. He's now got 2 caps of the French national team, which goes to show you just how much we miss him. We got our budgets. £67 million in the transfer budget and £1 million in the wage budget. We've now got £750,000 spare in the wage budget. Yeah, so we're only spending about £279,000 a week, and we're only spending about 27.4% of it, which is crazy. And in fact, I can even adjust this. So I can go up to 83 million in transfers, but I can go to 1.4 million pounds in the wages. I'm not going to do that, obviously, but the fact I could do that tells you what we could do here. Isn't it crazy? Also, Solihi is now happy to stay at Bordeaux. I may have given it a brand new lucrative deal, which is worth £18 million in 5 years. How much am I paying him per week, I hear you ask? Well, he is getting paid £63,000 per week. And if we look at the wages per the players right now, he's going to completely eclipse the top wage earner. And the best wage earner is £19,500 with Scavano, followed by £18,000 with Droslin, and even Furhat £60,000 a week, which is a 5-year deal with a 3-year extension to his contract, by the way. They all get completely eclipsed by Solihi's contract, which means I'm breaking new ground, but I'm also realizing, you know what? Solihi's probably worth it, right? £63,000 a week for this guy, with an extra 9 grand if he gets 5 caps for France. I'd love him to get a cap for France, but I'm also pointing out, this is my best player. I needed to keep him at the club, and now he's here for 5 years with an actual 3-year extension, compared to the fact we only had like 2 years left in his current deal going into the summer. This is a really good time for us, and we are going to have Solihi for at least another 8 years. So hopefully he'll be with us until he's 30. By that point, we may have found a replacement for him anyway, and that says a lot. All right, so supporter profile, top half finish is club vision for them, I think. We've done it for the last 3 years now. We are developing players using the youth system as well, which is great. Finish above Nantes, finish above Toulouse. Record a top half finish. That's great. We do have a waiting list of 1,608 fans, so that's getting better, isn't it? The LSS review, they're pleased we got top half finish, despite the fact we sold our best player for 56 million, and despite the fact we only got to the 11th round of the Coupe de France. I wanted to get further. We got to the knockout playoff round of the Champions League, and we were in the Trophy of the Champions. It's not the end of the world, really. I've been in 2 finals now. The Champions League is something I want to win eventually, and Villarreal in the final. Villarreal in the final? I'm not surprised with the Man City one. They beat Arsenal on penalties. Wait, they won 3-0 tonight. Hold on. Yeah, Arsenal, don't forget, had to go for the playoffs knockout round in the first place, so there's that. And Lille beat Shakhtar 5-2 overall. Dortmund beat Sporting 4-1 overall. Inter knocked out Real Madrid. Don't forget, this side is literally the top 8 teams. So Man City beat Bayern Munich 2-1. Arsenal got through on penalty against PSG. Bayer Leverkusen knocked out Barcelona. Tottenham got through penalty against Sociedad. Villarreal, they had to go for the playoffs, didn't they? Hold on, who did they beat in the playoffs? They beat Liverpool in the knockout playoff round. Wow, okay. Did not realize that was the case. So they knocked out Liverpool. They have now knocked out Benfica, who won the damn thing. In the quarterfinal, Villarreal knocked out Tottenham. Arsenal knocked out Bayer Leverkusen. Man City knocked out Inter. Dortmund knocked out Lille. And in the semi-final, Man City won against Dortmund 7-3. Arsenal threw a 3-goal lead away to lose 3-0 in the night, and then on penalties in the semi-final. So it's a Villarreal and Man City final. And Villarreal had to get through the playoffs through the hard way. What a season that is for them. But this is the club's vision expectations meeting. Top half finish is expected. Then qualify for the Europa League. They actually want Europa League football from now on. Hello? This is new. So top half finish next year is the last season I'm expected to get as low as that. But then European football for the rest of the time? My board's ambitious. It's almost like they know my team's getting better through age, isn't it? Hallelujah. Anyway, we're going to talk to the players now. And top half finish. Yeah, top half finish. Happy days. Nothing else to say. But club vision expectations, yeah, I accept that. It's no surprise, but a top half finish. How about that? Pre-season date again. Actually, going to be 6 weeks this time because we're not in Europe this time. So there you go. We're back on that date. Oh, it's the World Cup this year as well, isn't it? Oh god, the World Cup's happening. Okay, camp destination. Let's go to Switzerland. No, let's go USA. Why not? USA, because it makes sense to go and get more money. Okay, we've got to improve our standards of training facilities. Let's do that now. We do not want to be just superb, okay? Yes, thank you for actually agreeing to do that. I had to persuade him to do it. He was saying no at first. So thankfully, we're getting them worked on for £2.5 million. Hallelujah. Also, I've had several clubs apparently approaching him for this guy. Bochum and Eintracht Braunschweig. Okay, fair enough. Both Bochum in the 3rd tier. Oh my god, it's not even loaded. Oh god, it's not even loaded. I forgot to load that. Wow, okay, fair enough. They still think my weakest area is the DM. Also, Scorano's also signed a brand new deal, 5-year deal worth £5 million a year, which makes the fact that Solihi's getting paid £18 million for Solihi. And there's £5 million for Scorano. What a jump. What a jump. But yeah, I was happy. I was able to succeed in this, getting Scorano and Solihi to both accept that the players were good enough for the team for them. And John Biss also happy with his playing time where he's been played, so that's good. Was previously considered a National 2 quality defender, now considered a Ligue 1 player. Goes to show you just how much can change, isn't it? Like, he's 18, now considered a Ligue 1 player. Good that I can just do that, isn't it? Alright, he's left for this job. Fair enough, he's now the Eintracht Braunschweig manager. Happy days. What I now need to do is put an advert out to get a new under-19s manager. I'm curious to see who gets the role, really. Oh my god. 2 of my players have been called up for the World Cup. What? Dresden and Solihi are being called up for the main team, for the French national team, for the World Cup. I don't know if they're actually going to get in, but that's cool. Also, Europa League players has gone to the league because Paris Saint-Germain won the Coupe de France again. So there is that. We've also just got given the side of best 11. that's fun. By the way, I hadn't realized how low Rennes got and how close they were to being in relegation playoffs. That's ridiculous to me. They were almost in the relegation zone. Rennes. The Rennes. Yeah, Reims are also in the Conference League with Lille. We only finished about 7 points off Lille in the end, who had an almighty collapse to the point they sacked their manager now. But I hadn't realized how far we came, how close we came to being in the position where we were in Europe and how close Rennes were to being relegated. They're only a point clear of the relegation playoffs. And Auxerre got out in the last day of this season too. And Paris FC also won the last game, so that could have been crazy. At least I think it was that game they won. No, they survived. They lost their last game. They lost 7-0 against Paris Saint-Germain, but they just won their game. So that's how I know they're not out. But this is a thing I'm always interested in. The best 11. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Tessier, Diao, and Gasson, Toure, Solehi, Laverne, Scrivano, and Gaku are all at the club still. Bernardo's a coach for us. Monte is at West Ham. Capron's on loan to Aruca. Adama Diop is playing for FC Anansi. So this is a thing we're always interested in because I always like to see what my former players are doing. 63 cats for Montino as well. He's not playing for them. He's only a fringe player for this team. And we sold him for 56,000, so he's never really played for them that much. Hans Sandor is on loan to Vittoria di Setúbal, and Hassan Ngosh is on loan at Etihad Riyadh Bitanga. The other players that are in this list are all retired, and Hostrick's about to retire outright. He was never good enough to get a role he was looking for. Great knowledge, but other than that, not really that good. Remember Fabrice Kofi? Yeah, I remember him. He's damaged his spine, and he's out for 3 weeks, just 2 months, and might be about to get released by Stade Liège. Never really played for him after we sold him for £700,000. He's been stuck in their second team in the second tier of Belgian football, and I think he's about to be released. We ripped them off, didn't we, for this kind of money, didn't we? Semidar's now got a full-blown beard and is a Congo international. He's wanted by Paris FC for 1.9 million. 1.9 million pounds for this guy only. And he's got a cap for the Congo national team. So the Champions League just happened and... Oh my god! Oh my god! What? I thought it'd be competitive! Oh my god, Man City killed them. I truly thought this would be a competitive match, but no, Villarreal got absolutely slaughtered. Wow. Who the hell is this Service player anyway? I have no idea. Daniel Service? Former Chelsea? Came for the Chelsea Academy. Of course it's a Chelsea Academy player that's ended up at City somehow. Or vice versa. But this guy has scored. He's ridiculous from what I can see. I'm going to scout him because... if you look at the caliber of player this is, without even fully scouting, you can tell he's going to be a good player. He makes my midfielders look like a bunch of amateurs in comparison, like a lower league team. But still, 5-0. I mean, I'm not surprised I got this guy. This is no wonder some of my players are not going to get in the international team with this guy in the team. Remember, I've not even gone over my players yet that I was going to talk. They got Kulusevski? Why do they have Kulusevski at the team? £99 million and 28. Okay. 2017. Of course, Tottenham would take that money. They need all the money they can get, but this guy's been ridiculous for them in the Premier League. Goodness me. I mean, he's 34 now. He's going to retire soon, but if that's his last hurrah, that makes sense. Rodrigo Moura, by the way, is considered their star player, and you can see why. Oh my god. Yeah, Ronaldo can move aside. This guy's the future if he becomes this good. Doesn't he start? He got 18 goals in the Champions League, I just realised. He only really made his first breakthrough season last year in real life. This guy got 18 goals in the Champions League. He got 16 goals in the Premier League. How did you get 18 goals in 15 games in the Champions League? And only one of them was in the final. Sorry, I'm just reminiscing about what I've got to deal with if I want to win this competition. I'm not in it next year, thankfully, but wow. I thought this would be competitive. Clearly I was wrong. Southampton want to sign Tessier, but apparently he's interested. He's actually interested in signing for them. They only just survived relegation. Why would you want to waste your potential? Johnny, I know you got a 4-year deal with an extra 3-year extension already onto it. I literally could just ask the question. Hey, do you want to have a new contract? Strengthen the centre midfield. I'm not going to make any promises. I'll give you more money though. Hold on. I'm going to kill this off now. To be fair, that is kind of my aim. Yeah, that is kind of what I need to do next year anyway. Next year is get top half again. Then that actually aligns with the board, to be honest with you. So it makes sense. All right, let's do this. I'm going to promise that. This might be a mistake, but I'm also just going to make a point to say, no, 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 you're not going to be sold. I'm going to give him 20,000 because this is my best goalkeeper. I'm not letting my best goalkeeper go for stupid money. I'm willing to give these fees because I'm not spending it on transfers, am I? I'm literally spending everything on wages and loyalty bonuses and agent fees. I've got nothing to lose. See? I've got nothing to lose. He's going to stick with me for the next 8 years. He's never leaving me. I've gone until he's 28 unless something dramatic happens and I have to sell my entire squad or I get sacked. But that's beside the point. Or another goalkeeper becomes amazing. But you get my point. He's not going anywhere. But yeah, we're making sure our training facilities are back up to the level it should be at. In an ideal world, I would be able to get my youth facilities up to the state of the art as well, but right now I can't do that, which is a shame, but what can you do? That being said, we are the 9th biggest team in this list now, which is great, but eventually you got the likes of Rennes and Nice potentially having to lose their spots because they're not doing so well in the league, so that'd be a nice time, wouldn't it? End of the Champions League. Current Champions League financial fair play period, we're fine, we're looking okay. We got hit by tax for 25 million. Most of it was probably from the sale for Monte, wasn't it? But commercial income, we've actually lost a bit of money again. We've lost about 500,000 from that, which is a shame, but what can you do? It's still 8.7 million, but it's still not ideal to lose that much. And unsurprisingly, the scouting budget is still good. This feels a bit cluttered, by the way. I wish this was better. It feels a bit too cluttered, this little box here. I want it to be a bit more spread out and even, you know? But why is our away kit the biggest thing for the sponsorship? That does not make sense to me. It feels like the main kit should be bigger than anything else, if I'm honest with you. Maybe that's just me being a bit confused by the whole thing, but just feels a bit weird how the away kit gets more sponsorship income than the main kit does, or in the general does. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit questioning about the whole thing, you know? But also, Solihi, Furhat, Ladoni, and Dresden got the most merchandise sold. They're all my first team plans, my 2 wingers, and my 2 midfielders. So that's kind of my midfield sorted because you got those 4 players that are guaranteed to spot in the first team at this point. We made £2.8 million from that as well, with 280,000 of that going to non-domestic sales. So actually what I'm going to do this year is a bit different because I actually figured out a new way to showcase all my better players in the situation, right? So I'm going to actually go through the positions we have in the team and also go through the formations we can go through as well. So I will go over the positions I feel we need to try to tinker with and go from this point onwards. By the way, this formation, my third one, that's literally just default vertical tiki-taka where I just change the goalkeeper to goalkeeper because I don't feel like it makes sense to do it. We have one of the centre-back roles no longer be the ball-playing defender. And the fact we have a playmaking wing-back is interesting. Moves into the DM, mind you. So there is that. And you can see what that is about there. But having 2 defensive midfielders is the important thing as far as we're concerned. And yeah, literally, they decided to show the players that we could probably use in that position going forward in time. So this is interesting that we can go with that. And our position, we also go for that as well, like a 4-4-1-1 formation, because I think it works, make it better from my point of view here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to go for this, go to the team selection. Because everyone's on holiday or international duty right now, we can just go with this and you'll see the goalkeepers in question. So we're only going to go for the players that are considered the position for the situation of time. So Tess is my first choice goalkeeper. Still very good. The fact he's got such a low value is confusing to me, but he's considered a good goalkeeper. Consistent. The only issue he has is his injury proneness, but again, we've probably got a goalkeeper or 2 that can replace him going forward in time at this stage and moment in his career. And then we got Mohamed Sadi, who is a 2-star goalkeeper. I've not used him at all because I think he actually needs first team football in the lower parts of the game. I will need to give him a new contract sooner or later. When he turns 18, I will need to give this guy a new contract as soon as possible, maybe. I might give him one now. I do have the option to extend his contract right now, to be honest with you, so I could just do it at the end of this current deal. But he's still only 17. He still needs first team football eventually. He's been on the bench a few times, but never been used, which is probably a mistake on my part to put him on the bench in the first place, but he's got time to develop. He's still just 17, and he's a breakthrough prospect. He knows he's not going to get any first team football right now. But then we've got Nassim Papon, who is still 19. The plan is really to loan him out this year because he needs the first team football at this point. And he's got potential to be really good. He is inconsistent, which is the only issue about him. And if we can get him first team football on loan, that'd be lovely stuff. He's ambitious as well. He has improved over the last 3 months, which is also said a lot, but He needs the first team football sooner rather than later for this guy. Long's a player that also needs first team football, but he's also getting international football with the Martinez international team. I don't really see where he becomes my first choice. He's unambitious as well. And yes, he is someone who can become a Liga and quality goalkeeper in the future. He needs a loan move sooner rather than later, as far as we're concerned, and that says a lot. We also got Riyad Prayakut as well, who is only 17. He does turn 18 this winter, so he probably needs a first team football move at some point as well on loan. He's also inconsistent. He does do well in pressure situations with getting the ball. He's fairly loyal. He has made some improvements. He does need to work on his game a little bit, and he's inconsistent at times as well. But this guy's got potential. I think he could do a very good job in the future. We just need to give him first team football out on loan and go from there. And then we've got Julien Riviere, who is the backup at this point. He's the oldest player in the team and goalkeeper. He's not got the aerial reach to really do much. He's 5'10". So eventually he will need to go out on loan again, or at least first time ever. He's considered someone who likes people matches. He's inconsistent, but he could become a decent league going goalkeeper, which means maybe he's just the backup of all backups for me. And the fact that decent league going goalkeeper is 2.5 stars is fascinating to me. So do I send him out on loan to get the first team football so he can develop his game, or do I just keep him around as the emergency backup for the time being? But now we got right back, and you've got a few players to look at here. I'm not going to look at Semi Diao because I don't really plan on using him there. But the first choice actually is Christ Tearput at this point, and you got a lot of players that you recognize as players that can play in the right back position at 2 or 2.5 star compatibility. Christ has become the main guy, and it's the reason for that is literally because his defensive attributes are really good. Holding fullback and pressing fullback are quite good, and he's a wing back, but he's also a lean player. Yeah, he's a lean player because his attacking is really good. Look at the high forward attributes, and you realize, oh, he's quite good at the role. So he's good for that. A leading Ligue 1 player, has been considered a wonder kid at one point, but he's got no real weaknesses. He doesn't have a consistency issue. He's been really good with the assist side of things as of late as well, which says a lot. And also, he can play all the way down the line. He can play as a midfielder, as a right wing back. He can play as a wing back. He can play as a right back. He can play as a winger. It's just a very good opportunity to have this guy in a team. And the fact he's fairly low means he isn't going to try and push for a move. To think at one point I was looking at getting rid of this guy at the end of his contract because he only had 2-star potential ability. And all of a sudden, his loan move out to Averka just decided to really showcase what he could do. It's his best move, and he was playing in European League football, and it just made him blossom as a player, as a right back, which is crazy. But this year, he's become my best assister in the right back position. And that says a lot that Scavano has lost his spot to this guy, but he's also wanted by a lot of teams, like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Villarreal. There are some big teams wanting this guy now, and it says a lot, doesn't it? But here we are. Christ Tearput has become the guy for me at right back, even though he's probably better further forward. So what does that leave for Gianluca Scavano, my Italian right back, who has also got French nationality? Well, the reason I'm not using him as much is, look at his average rating at 6.84. It's worse than the guy I just showed you, even though last year this guy was really good for me. And it goes to show you that when we do well, this guy does well, but when we don't do well, he goes missing. So he went missing this year at times, and I can honestly say his Champions League performances of a 6.57 tells you why we are a myth for this guy at times. He lost his spot in the first team because of that, and he's also considered just a good Ligue 1 player. Can improve a lot, but he's inconsistent, which is the problem for him. He's lost his spot because he's inconsistent, and he's not done well enough to get his place back right now. His potential is also worse than Christ Tearput, so a problem for him to really deal with at this point in time. Now, I could go over Semi Diao, but that's a left back thing. I could go over Hamza Handoy. In fact, I might need to at some point. But maybe we'll go over Samir Renard right now. He's become like my right back very much. I hope nothing goes wrong that I have to use him substitute. He played no games this year. It's probably the first time he's been in that position since he was out on loan in these periods. But even then, he was playing for me that year as well. So this is the first time he's really been out of the team and has had nothing to showcase for it. I'm paying 1.3 grand a week for this guy, but he's got 2 years left in his current deal. Spirited personality, does like big matches, so he's probably a player to be around if we needed someone to rally the team or something, but he's not got a place in the first team for me at the moment. He is never going to be as good as my first 2 right backs, and this guy might get sold in the future. I haven't decided yet. But if I look at the players that could go down the list, and there's a lot of players that have potentially good potential, like this guy, for example. Like, this guy just came from my youth intake. He's already improving quite a bit. He's considered a 4th tier player, professional personality, doesn't have a lot to work with, and maybe we need to work on his defensive side. Have I not even been working on his defensive things right now? No, I have not. Okay, so pressing fullback. That's the thing they want me to do. Yep, pressing fullback. Let's look at that. He's been improving regardless, though, and he has some potential. Now, if I was to compare him to Samuel Ronaldo, for example, this might be a bit of a strange thing to do, but right back, you look at Ronaldo, he's the better player, and he's also the player of the blue. Yeah, physically, Ronaldo's the much better player, and that's his problem right now. Set piece, and technically, he's better to Samuel Ronaldo. Admittedly, Ronaldo's also 7 years older, so there's a lot of time to grow for this guy. But again, there was part of his game that I will say, okay, this guy's got something to work with here. He works hard. He just needs to work on his physicals, and he might take Ronaldo's place effectively. But until that is the case, we don't have any spot for him at the moment in the first team. But he's also only 16, so it makes sense we don't have a spot for him right now. So let's now look at the left back position, and Semi Diao is the player, that left back, who's been here for the entire time, and 218 appearances he's made for me so far as a player. He's never done a full season. This year was the closest he came to it, and again, 33 times is the closest he can come to doing it in a 34 game season. But remember, he played 5 times for me in the 3rd tier. He's the only player in my team to play in all 3 divisions for me. And you got to remember, his first time he really broke out in a full season was when we're in the 2nd tier game for the playoffs the first time round. And every time he's played in the 2nd tier since that season, he's done really well. He hasn't scored more than a goal since that season, mind you, but he's been ever present as the assister. Now, admittedly, he's consistently getting a 6.9 average rating. It's slowly but surely going down a little bit, but he's been Mr. Reliable for me, despite the fact he is inconsistent. He's also got 3 years left in his deal with an extra 3-year extension. So again, we're not fussed about that. And I could just improve his training again right now, which is something I will always look at doing. What do we use actually for that position? Now I think about it. Maybe let's go and have him work as a holding fullback, because we actually swapped the 2 around this time, because I realized last year I was getting hit a lot on the left-hand side. So maybe having him as a defensive fullback, as a holding fullback, will help us with the defensive side of things on the left-hand side, because we were getting hit there a lot last year. His work rate at 19 is just really good, and it makes sense why we are looking to keep him around. And yes, his work rate of 19 really helps in that situation as well. But yeah, maybe this year we just have to work a bit harder to make sure we don't get caught. During the Tigo, winger and fullback, it's literally the same as my other guy that I showed that now become the first choice as the right back. But this guy is a bit more flexible with what side he could play. He could literally play as a wing back on both sides of the pitch. If I ever wanted to do that, this guy is my guy, which is crazy that he could do that. A good League 1 player though. And it says a lot he's a good League 1 player as a 2.5-star kind of busy player, but there you go. The fact we could rely on this guy is beautiful, and I'm going to adjust his training a little bit as well, because we literally can just do that. It's really good to do that sort of stuff as well. And if we can ensure that his ability is worked upon and he can improve, lovely stuff. But this guy's been reliable for me, even if he's not played a lot. He's mostly a bench player for me, but I rely on him a lot more than I thought I would. So I like this guy a lot. He's been my guy to go to, and he knows what I have expectation-wise of him. Okay, so Kyle Roffer is a player that I have never used, and also can play as a left wing back very, very well. He's out on loan at Powell in the 3rd tier, has played a load for them. He's a good 3rd tier player who I actually think longer term is probably going to take Semi Diao's position. Now, admittedly, he's English, which means he would be a non-EU slot. He is inconsistent as well, but he's only 19. He's only just turned 19 this winter. I think this guy is in my plans for next year if we need to go for a certain formation, like a back 3 formation, because this guy could do it. I have a lot of faith because I've got players who could play in the back 5 formation now, which we really could do that if we ever wanted to. I have the ability in my players, and the faith my players can do good things now. I will always trust my players to do the things here. This guy's got great physicals. His mentals and technicals could do some work. And let's compare him with Semi Diao, because this is the best way to compare the two. You can see the problem immediately with this guy versus Semi Diao. Diao's got the better aerial and technical and attacking and defensive side of things, but physically he's weaker. And even the vision side of things is weaker. So look at some of this area. This guy could be Diao's replacement in the longer term, but he's a bit shorter, which is the issue. And set piece wise, really good. Technical wise, not that good if you compare the two of them. So yeah, there's that. Also, the mentals is not as good either, but also there's like a 4-year difference between the two of them. And Carl Wofford's literally never been at this club. He's been on loan for the last few years at different clubs. Like most of his appearances have been on loan in England or the lower tiers of France. I had offers from League One, I think it was this year, for his services. So I have high hopes for this guy, and I will give him a brand new contract. I think this guy is going to be great, and I'm going to give him a new contract right now. So he's got to give him a brand new contract. I think this guy is in my first choice plans. If he gets another low move again, he improves a lot, then this guy is in my plans for the next couple of years. And if I want to go for a back 5 formation, this is my guy. He literally can play there natural ready, and it's wonderful stuff. And he can even play at a winger, so there's plenty of options with this guy. There really is. But then we got this guy. If I don't have that guy, if I don't have Watford as my first team plans, this guy's in the plans instead, because, oh my god, he actually had dribbling a 10 at one point. He's gone down slightly, but this guy is in my plans. He's either centre-back or a full-back, or wide centre-back. I have options to mess about with this guy, because this guy, if I wanted to go for a back 3 formation, absolutely plays in the back 3 as one of the centre-backs. And that's amazing, because this guy could be outstanding. I think this guy has potential to be a very good player, and his value tells me he's going to be the next gen at some point in the next couple of years if he plays. He's already a third-tier player. I need to give him first-team football at some point, and we're working on his ball control right now, and I'm literally taking advice from someone that I trust in the situation. His ball control is being worked on, so if we get his ball control up, he could be very fun, couldn't he? Now, I've put this off a lot, but Hamza Hamdoy, I think I have to sell this summer. 3-year deal. I think he gets sold now. The fact that a decent Ligue 1 player, by the way, is just 2-star in this is very telling. He's inconsistent. He likes big matches, which is the only positive for him, but he's a decent third-tier player now. I need to sell him. Now, a player I didn't think I would be talking about is Georges Verger, 16 years of age. I know what you're thinking. He's not going to make it, but he's actually developing like a lot better than I was expecting him to. Yes, he's a 4th-tier player now. Yes, he's inconsistent. This guy's got potential to do well if he continues to develop. He's got a year left in his contract. I need to give him a brand new contract. This guy's got potential to be really good, and I'm hoping he can work on that promise. Yes, he's mostly just a wingback right now, but he's also 16. He can stay in the lower tier. He can stay in the under-19s team, the second team for the time being. He does not need first-team football for now. He's developing nicely as it is. Look at the up hours he's getting right now. He's developing really quickly, and I'm happy that is the case. So let's now look at the centre-backs, and there's a lot of players here that we could talk about. I'm going to ignore some of Diao and Lebros we talked about, but there's a few players we could talk about here. I'm not talking about Boris. He's more of a DM as far as I can say. He actually played a lot this year as well, but Adoun Gassan, been here since the very start, 24 years of age, 234 appearances now for the club. He's never left. He's been my first choice. His average rating is superb. Even when we got relegated, he got 6.88 average rating. He's only got 7 goals in his time. I know I was criticised for not getting more goals from a 6'7" centre-back who can do really well with his jumping of 19 and his strength of 16. But honestly, I don't need him to be the goal scorer for set pieces. He is wanted by Como. He does come back in the third. I was right about that. But yeah, the fact he is this good, and he's still a 3-star player, squad player apparently now, who could still improve. The fans really like him. He loves big matches. His only weakness, because he's now consistent as well, which I don't think was a thing at first. I think he's improved his consistency, which is incredible in itself. The only weakness he has, according to my backroom staff, is his passing. And you can see why. So, I'm going to get him to work his passing to end that weakness once and for all. But if we did go for a back 3 formation, could he do that? Or would I just use him as the main centre-back in the middle of the pillar? I think he's a middle pillar kind of guy, personally. He can do this wide centre-back thing, with the only weakness being his dribbling, but I don't want to go for that route. But again, I'm thinking of other tactics if we need to go down that route, and it's fine. But Gonzalo Maya has been the guy that has had to replace Benjamin Monte, and I think he's done a good job. Now, admittedly, the average rating doesn't really give him a flattering review because he's the left side of centre-back. I had used him as the ball-playing centre-back. I've actually decided to abandon that for a normal centre-back role. And he can't do the right centre-back thing. So I need to figure out if I want to go for the back three formation, who goes where, who does what. He's not the guy you aim for set pieces either. He's the kind of guy that will just make himself a nuisance anyway. He's good at positioning. He's good at brave. He's very brave. He's good anticipation. He's got good strength, good anticipation, and he's good at marking. So he's reliable. He is considered a good League 1 player too, who's considered a squad player who can still improve. He's consistent. So I've got 2 consistent centre-backs. The only problem we have with him is he's not very good at working with his teammates. Yeah, 6 teamwork's not great. I don't know how to fix that. But honestly, this guy does his job well. He's not perfect. He's never going to be a star for me, but he's consistent, and that's all I ask for him. Bastien Benoit is a player that I never thought would be good enough this season, but I gave him first team football because, you know, I had a spot for him. He's become a decent League 1 player, an exciting young prospect who isn't far from the first team. That's great. He's a bit slow, though. He's a bit lethargic as well with his natural fitness as well. So he does need work. And I am trying to improve on that. He is also tall. Yeah, I'm working his quickness already. I need to work on a few other things. So covering centre-back, he actually can do the role nicely. And actually, maybe we do work on the covering centre-back as the out-possession thing so he gets that worked on. Because we look at the centre-back, he doesn't work on it. So covering centre-back, we work on his acceleration as well. That's the things we work on. That's what you should really work on and look at if you're going to try and improve your player. What does the inner possession, out possession thing do, and what do they cover? When you work on that and look at that, you realize, oh, he could do this, he could do that. Yes, his heading's not the best, neither is his tackling, but then again, Meyer's tackling wasn't great either. But he's 6'5", he's got 17 jumping reach, he's got 15 strength, 14 anticipation, 15 decision making. If we can work on some things, he can be useful. But Noah Vedron, out on loan in the second tier French football, I thought would develop more. He's a consistent player, but he's slow, needs to work on his passing, and apparently he's got potentially a League 1 player, but he's not going to reach it as the way he's going right now. So clearly needs to work on a few things. He can play as left back, right back, and centre back. So the annoying part, he's actually got decent attributes in certain areas of the game, but I just need him to do better. Like, his work rate really helps with the right centre back thing and all that stuff. He's got good crossings. He could be an overlapping centre back. Yeah, teamwork's good for the advanced centre back as well. So clearly there's a few things we can work on here. But he needs to be better. He's fairly professional. And he played every time in the second tier. So I don't know why he's not really improved. This is something that I used at the beginning of the season and then kind of just stopped using because he wasn't doing well. Yeah, I kind of used him 4 times and stopped using it. And then Bastien Benoit came in and decided to just show off and show why he could do good things. He's consistent. I feel like I've got a lot more consistent players these days than I did before. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of my players became consistent over the years. But this guy's got a year left in his contract. I should give him a deal anyway because I don't want to lose him. Because I think he's got potential to be really good. He's just a normal centre-back, isn't he? Nothing more to his game than that. He's a 4th tier player. He needs first tier football next year to develop, and let's go with that. Didier Labros is a player I am going to use as centre-back at some point. He's 17 now, turns 18 in April next year, but he can develop. He's professional, but he's also a 4th tier player right now. He is inconsistent, which is the issue, but he's professional, and he can improve a lot. He has improved slightly already. He's a bit one-footed though, and yes, the one position thing is not in the world. I don't have an issue with the one position thing because it means he can just develop his game anyway. Great potential. I think he needs to do better at some point. I just don't know how to get the best out of him with his heading being 6. I wish there was a way that we could just look at the positions straight off the bat without having to go elsewhere. That's just how I look at it. And I hope we could do more of that in the future because it feels like I want to be able to say what he could do in a certain position. I really do. But he's professional. He's playing as a centre-back in the youth team, so he could definitely get better somewhere. As an Decas, overlapping centre-back, and what? Okay. Remember when I said this guy wasn't going to be a centre-back for me? I'm starting to be proven wrong. He's improving really quickly. Oh my word. He's inconsistent, yes, but marking and his passing, we improved that. And his marking's up to 8 already. I think this guy could be a centre-back after all, you know? I'm starting to see the vision. Overlapping centre-back, wide centre-back. I mean, yeah. He's the kind of centre-back that absolutely works in a back 3 formation. He really is. Yes, he's definitely has the vibe of a wing back. And you can see what I'm talking about with the wing back right now, can't you? He feels like a player that can definitely play there. But also, I don't think he's a DM, but I can see the halfback vision with this guy. He's also, yes, he's also 5'10". It's the reason I haven't really looked at him as a centre back, but I can see the vision now as that. But as a right back too, this may be a very bad comparison to make, but let's compare him to Christ, right? And I mean, you can always see the attacking thing. It's 10, literally 10 difference. The aerial reach is literally the only thing he's better at for this guy. But everyone else is being completely obliterated. So let's compare him with Maya. And the set piece is much better already. But actually, I thought it would be more harder to make the comparison. But I'm looking at this. If it wasn't for the mentals and maybe the technicals in some areas, this guy isn't that far away from Maya. At least it's not as far as I thought it would be. Even the Polygon, Maya's just outgrows him in every area apart from the technical side of things. But again, if he becomes as good as Maya has now, that'd be interesting. So let's look at Abdul and Gassan, for example. Okay, and Gassan is probably the more the example we're looking at, which we're looking at here, because he's literally only weaker in the technicals. And again, it's literally just not the areas you want the technicals in either. The marking's not really something you want. Tackling is better, same with the technique. Crossing's not really an area we care so much about. And first touch is actually good as well, but the heading's there, the marking's there. Anticipation, it's better aggression. But the composure, concentration, decision, determination. Yes, I'm using determination as a thing. His positioning needs work. Teamwork and vision. Teamwork and work rate, really good. But his vision's even worse than in Gassan's too. So in Gassan's kind of the comparison which you're making here. Because it's the same side too. But Cross could do good things in the future. But there's one player I wasn't expecting to be talking about. And it's Daniel Dellenberg. Remember this guy? I don't think I ever talked about this guy at all. But he's a centre-back who's also can be a right-back too. Yeah, I've got a lot of these players. I don't know why I got these players. This guy definitely could be a right back if we ever wanted to. But I feel like I want to make him a centre back first and foremost. And he's got a cap for Haiti as well. So there is that. Haiti love him. But he's professional. He's inconsistent. But I like him a lot. All right, now we look at DM. And this is the reason why I'm saying it's the weakest part of my team. It's literally the weakest part. There's so many players with 1.5 star ability. And then you got the players who've got potential. But other than that, it's not really a pretty sight. And Bernardo Gaku is considered a 2.5 star in centre midfield and defensive midfield right now. He's a good Ligue 1 player who doesn't like big matches and is inconsistent. A fringe player, apparently. It's crazy now looking at this because you wouldn't have thought it at the time that we were super reliant on the guy. But his finishing is there at 12, which makes the fact he's not playing that far over forward a bit more annoying. Ball playing midfielder, if you want to go like a 2 centre midfielder, can work there perfectly fine. He's made 200 appearances for me. At this point, admittedly, only 4 of those was for the second team, so that's 196 appearances, but still, it's a lot of appearances for me, and he was the first superstar to come from my youth intake, which again says a lot. That being said, he's still consistently being used by me in the team, and he's had 2 seasons where he was used in every single game, and you look at the ratings he's had over the years. The only reason it's gone down is because I've literally had 2 superstar semi-finals turning up and taking his spot there, and he was forced further back, but he's worked the role nicely. And he's not a bad player, to say the least, either. But Lassie Nomi has become a player that I'm starting to trust a lot more this season. And he's 18. He's really good already. He's a good third-tier player now, which, yes, I know what you're thinking. He's a third-tier player you're using in the first team. Yes, that's why it's the weakest area of the team. 100%. The fact I let him go out on loan last year, I don't know if it hurts him or not, but he went out on loan last year, got first-team football, which I think did help his development for me. But he's now playing for me in the first team, and I trust him a lot to do good things. But this guy hasn't got caps for Finland, hasn't got caps for France either. He's got both nationalities. The fact he can speak so many languages is very useful for him as well. But yeah, he's got a lot of things. He's actually part of the Finland squad. Fair enough. He has been called up for the Finland squad. He's going to be my first Finnish international that's part of my team. Happy days. But Hassan Gotch, I'm deciding here and now, this is when we sell him. He's got potential to be a League 1 player, but he doesn't have big matches. He's inconsistent. I wanted to trust this. I wanted to use this guy. He was my first choice defense midfielder for the longest times, but his ratings were never good. Vanagaku has had a better average rating than this guy has done in the last 4 years for me. This has been the casualty of my surge of strength in the centre midfield. Hassan Gotch. I loved this guy, but now he needs to be sold next summer. If he doesn't get signed for this deal now, I think he's got a deal, yeah, £425,000. If they sign him, they can do it, but he's got 33 days to get signed by this team, but I don't think they're going to do it. By far his worst season. Now let's talk about Boris Lafarge. You know, the guy that I trained out of being a centre back to become a DM. Yeah, 5 heading is still never going to be good enough for a defender. And you can see why I tried to do this. He's out on loan at Victoria Sudabel. Again, another player that's gone out on loan there. A leading 4th tier player. Enjoys big matches, but he's inconsistent and has an issue of injuries. Oh, what to do with you? I tried. I really tried this guy, but I think I need to sell him as well. His contract expires this summer, so I actually might just release him outright. Patrick Hargott playing as a centre back, and I didn't have a choice in the matter. My background team did that to him. He was never a centre back. He was always a DM, but he's out on loan at Bordeaux this year. So loan moves at Grenoble last year, and then was this year never really been that great. The backward stuff kind of did more damage to him than I ever did. I never used him as a centre back. If I'd known he was being done to that, I would have just taken up my team and stuff and said, no, you're not having him. He's a DM. Leave him to me. Ready to Cast is exciting. He's one of my Monaco, which I think tells you just how much potential this guy's got. But he's a channel midfielder, but also can be a deep line playmaker. Natural both positions. I don't remember that was ever a thing I did, but he also likes to get forward whenever possible. So he's definitely a midfielder, but he's got potential to be really exciting. He is inconsistent, so there's that. He's definitely a centre midfielder, though. All right, yeah. Remy Sharon, a centre midfielder. He's actually 2-star kind of ability midfielder, so actually this guy has a lot of potential. Decent 3rd tier player, so I think I can do a lot with this guy. He's a centre midfielder, my centre midfielder though, so he doesn't actually fit the roles I like of this, but I could use him as a deep line playmaker, so maybe that's the role for him. Try as long wing passes too, so maybe DM is the place for Remy Sharon. I mean, he's not got a lot of competition in that position, that's for certain, so DM might be the spot we put him in. I really think that's the case. Alejandro Funes, I plan on selling. I tried. I really tried. He actually played once and got a 7.2 rating, so I say I tried. I barely really gave him first team football with this team. I tried to give him low move after low move, but he just never got the first team football when he goes around, did he? So there's that. He helped Orleans get promoted to the 3rd tier again, so there's that. But Alejandro Funes is a player that just got stuck in the 2nd team and just never got out of it, which is a shame because I think he could do a lot more for me. Has potentially been a League 1 player, mind you, but do I just get rid of him at this point? I don't know. He's also a non-EU player, which doesn't help his case at all. He's got a year left in his contract, so I might just sell him now. And the reason I'm thinking of selling him is because Amara Traore is also coming through the system. He's played as a DM and has done quite well in the youth teams, so if this guy is able to do what I think he can do, then this guy's developing quite nicely as well. So, Amara Traore, deep line playmaker, I see the play. He just needs to really work on his game to get to that point. But he's a leading 4th tier player at the age of 18. I think he can get to the next level and very soon. But then we got the centre midfielders. We got the 2 roles and there are a few players to talk about here. Thomas Dressing we briefly looked at earlier because he got 3rd place in the NXGN. This guy's a monster in the making. He's 18. He's a leading League 1 player. He's worth between 46 and 55 million pounds. I've given it a brand new deal to scale off Liverpool from signing him, and the deal is literally 5 years with 3 extension, as is the norm for me. This guy is a player I love, and I will keep around for the longest of times. The only issue is he's actually inconsistent. You wouldn't have thought that, but he's inconsistent, and he needs to work on a few things. Cameron Ladoni is the other centre midfielder that's in my first team plans right now. He's got 2 caps for Algeria now, so he's become part of the Algerian national team. He is one of my Stoke, who just got promoted to the Premier League, so that's one less thing to concern about. He's also got a brand new 5-year deal with 3 extensions, so he's been kept around for the longest of times. I think I gave him a new contract. No, I did not. He does have a 3-year extension anyway. I might just give him a new contract now, see what he wants. But again, I feel like he's worth it, which may sound like a crazy thing to say when I'm not using him in his main position. I'm using him as a channel midfielder. Yes, I know it's not his best position, but let's be honest. He was also an attacking midfielder first. It's not the end of the world. He's really good. Also, he is considered a League 1 player, leading League 1 player, so it makes sense to be very excited about this guy. And he's not inconsistent either, so very good. I just have a lot of reasons to like this guy. His average rating this year was ridiculous. A 7.22 in the Champions League tells me a lot. He underperformed his XG by 1. He got 7 goals and 7 assists in 47 appearances, so he's also not that bad. Bordeaux has become a victim of the newfound strength and depth I've got at centre midfield. This guy was my star centre midfielder for a bit. He's now only considered a decent League 1 player, but he's also inconsistent. They also want me to train him as a winger. No, I'm not doing that to him. That's bad. Always looking to win. We like him for that reason. But also, he's my super sub at this point. I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but this guy is kind of my super sub at this point, where I can just throw him on the first team, use his pace, use his stamina to be annoying, and just use him as a channel midfielder and a fast play and a midfield playmaker. He can play in both roles really well. Even out of possession, it's mostly just pressing, but he can do both roles really nicely. And his stamina is just a nuisance in the defensive side of things, so he's perfect for what I want and what I need. The only issue is tackling and positioning, but again, not the end of the world for a centre midfielder. But Manuel da Costa, I really wanted this guy to succeed. He's actually more of a winger than anything else. Inconsistent, needs better job of marking and wide covering to the midfielder. Yeah, this guy needs a bit of work. He's actually definitely more of a winger because he could do advanced playmaker, channel midfielder. He could do the channel midfielder really well. One tackling is the issue. Winger, do that nicely. Attacking midfielder as well. But his one tackling means he can't be a midfield playmaker. And I've never really used him either. He's only got 2 assists in his entire career. I used him once in the main team, and there's that. And I tried to send him out on loan, but nobody wanted him. And that's a shame. Alberto Lorea, I wish this guy has developed, but he hasn't. And he's inconsistent, and I need to work on a few things. He is a player that could be useful, though. I think he's got the ability to become a player that really likes big matches. He's going to be a player that likes big matches. I tried to send him out on loan, but nobody wanted him. I need to find a place for him next year. And hopefully we find one very, very soon, because he's definitely... I've been using the wrong thing all the time. I've been trying to get a play for him at some point, and hopefully he gets a move very, very soon. But this is a kid that has only come through last year. Last year came from a youth intake. Good value of 5.4 to 6.6 million, 16 years of age. And as a centre midfielder, channel midfielder, he can be very exciting. Good free kick taking, good first touch, good acceleration. Decisions are good. His work rate and vision's great. His technique's wonderful. Crossing good as well. So this guy's got great potential. I look at some of the players that are around him that are not performing and improving. And then you look at this guy who is consistent. It makes sense that I'm excited about this guy and that he is kind of in my plans for the future. It really makes sense that is the case, doesn't it? Let's now go over to the right winger position because it's the most congested area of my team. Unsurprisingly, you can look at these players. I'm going to say Furhat for the left winger and Turbot we've already talked about as well for the right back. And Diaz Turbot I'm using as a striker. Same with Torre already been used and Latigo been talked about as well. So, Afane Sodehi, he's getting paid £63,000 a week next year. I think he's worth it personally. He's got an average rating of 7.01 this year, 9 goals, 5 assists. Every year, he gets at least 13 goal contributions when he's fully fit. Since we came back down into the League Dura that 1 year, that ACL injury did hurt him. The fact he still didn't lose any development is crazy. He could have been a superstar if he did have that, but there you go. What a monster he could have been. And it's crazy to say that is the case, you know? There's a lot of things to like. He's been the consistent guy for me. My top goal scorer in the league as well with 9 goals, which is alarming to say the least. Abdou Diallo got 6 goals for me. He was one of my top goal scorers this season. And I mostly use him as a winger, which probably doesn't help his case. I actually used him as a target forward at one point as part of a front 2, which again, probably doesn't help his case, but it's one of those things. But I like this guy a lot. He's very useful for me, and I think he could be very good. Wide forward, really good. As a striker, could be good as well. So I've got options to use this guy in various positions here, but he's 6'4" as well. A tall player, and he's a good Ligue 1 player at this point. He is inconsistent, so I need to work on a few things, and I am very excited for him. He's just got 1 tackling. Why do I have so many players with 1 tackling? What is with this? Igor Correa has been on loan at Huddersfield for the last 2 years, and I'm thinking of selling him in the summer. Why, do I hear you ask? Well, for one, he's not starting anymore. He's barely done well for me. The fact this is his best season as a player as all in the third tier of England. But also, he does not enjoy big matches, and he's fairly inconsistent. He's also just a decent League 2 player who has potential to be a good League 1 player. So he's probably one of those players I would want to keep around, but because of all the players we've got around the team, I don't think he gets to the first team at all. I really don't. So, 22 years of age, he needs to be let go for his own career. That's a crazy thing to say, but with all the players coming through, it makes sense. Also, we got Torre, Diarsoba, and Latigo also here. It makes sense. I'm not talking about this guy because he's a third tier player who I'm selling. Dissel, what could I have done with you? He's never developed, has he? He's mostly been a bench player this year for Powell, but he's a 4th tier player with potential to be a League 2 player, so he's going to be sold at some point this summer too. We're selling a lot of players this summer, I realized. We actually should talk about this guy, who I just gave a brand new contract to because they think he's got potential to be a League 1 player. My background stuff has been wrong at times, but I also realized that the fact he's considered to have potential to be a League 1 player is interesting. He is inconsistent. I need to give a loan spell for this guy. He's 21. and they still think he's got a good potential enough to say, yeah, you should give him a new contract. So clearly there's something about this guy. I just don't know what to do with him. So let's now talk about the players on the left-hand side of the pitch, because there's a few players to talk about here that you will recognize. So Furhat, unsurprisingly, second place in the NXGN, best player we have on that side, and probably the best player of the team, if it wasn't for Solihai, which again says it all. Solihai, Salihi, 6 caps for Algeria at the age of 18, leading Ligue 1 player. The only weakness he has is his heading department, apparently, which he is improving. So this guy is a monster. He's my best penalty taker at this point too, with 9 penalty taking and 30 composure. Yes, he's now taken the penalty spot taken away from Tizier. So again, it makes sense why this guy is a bit of a monster. He can also play on the right-hand side. He can also play as a attacking midfielder. So yeah, this guy's good. With all the abilities he's got, I think this is my superstar in the future. He's got a brand new contract as well, so we don't have to worry about losing him anytime soon. And this guy's amazing. Denzel Benjamin, 18 years of age. He's in my first team plans for next season. And I am about to give him a brand new 5-year contract because I have that much hope for this guy in the future. Yes. Also, he's worth between 12 million and 50 million. So if Furhat decides to go, then we've got Denzel Benjamin, who is considered a good third-tier player. So I'm definitely looking at him. The only weakness I see in him is his inconsistency. We are going to work on his ability as well generally, but if you take away some of the bad things about him and the fact he likes the one with the ball from the middle, attacking midfield anyone, then we could look at a few things. So I like this guy a lot, and there's a lot of things to like about him. If this guy develops to be as good as I think he could be, then he'd be amazing. Also, free tackling. A lot of my players don't know how to tackle apparently, and I don't know what they've been taught in the youth teams, but clearly that is an issue. Also, I used him in the Champions League in the league this year, so I have a lot of hopes for this guy. I really do. David Lafarge, 2-star accountability player, decent Ligue 1 player. So clearly, that's why I don't have a lot of issue with Denzel Benjamin being used. He's got a year left in his contract. I should probably give him extend his contract by 3 years, so I'm going to do it now. Lafarge is a player that I want to see do well, but he's just not really developed and not really done well for me. 6.61 average rating from the bench. I know I've not started him, but even so, that's not great. I was expecting more from him, I really was. I think there's a lot more he can do here. He's not inconsistent either, which is the problem. So I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe he just doesn't like the role I'm using him in. I don't know. But again, we just need him to do better. And once he does that, he'll be great. Potentially. Who knows? Julien Gapron out on loan at Aruca this year actually did really well. He's been the main beneficiary of a loan move for the last 2 years. Ligue 2 last year, Liga Portugal this year. Aruca, not a bad team either from what I can remember of them. So a 7.12 average rating for him as a wide forward. Didn't do well against Porto, but they did win the game. So there's that. But when he's good, he's really good. So this guy's got potential. I want this guy to do well for me. He's a decent Ligue 1 player too, but he's not inconsistent. And it's actually this summer I find out if he likes people matches or not. He's also been paid 10.5 grand a week. So there is that. I need to figure out a way to use this guy more after this season, I think. And if I don't see a good value of his big matches thing, then maybe he gets sold. But he's got ability to do good things. He has played a lot for me, don't forget, before we had Furhat arriving. So Furhat arriving kind of killed this guy's chance in the first team too. Also his injury. He also got injured, so there's that. Now I should talk about the player that I don't know why he's not developing. One, Jose Navone needs first team football. He's absolutely on the loan list for next season. We had offers of £3 million of this guy, don't forget. So clearly there's a lot of things about him that people like, but I need to find a move for him that's not in Argentina, because Argentina does not do well for his development, it feels like. I think he's injured, but he's a 4th tier player right now, leading 4th tier player. But he's got a lot of potential, and they think he's got great potential. And in fact, it's still 5 stars of potential ability says a lot. So I've got a 4-year deal on him with an optional 3-year extension. No, not an optional 3-year extension. We get the point. This guy has a lot of potential, but for some reason, he's not reaching it. And maybe it's just low determination has hurt him. But a loan move for him next year would be great. Okay, let's now talk about the strikers. We talked about Solihai. We talked about Diarra. Now, Diarra Sova, who got 10 goals for me this year. 4 in the league, 5 in the Champions League. What to do with him? He's 19 years of age. He's a good Ligue 1 player. He's got good pace, but he's inconsistent. And we need him to do well. His pace is his main weapon. And he's got good finishing, but his composure is just a bit weak, isn't it? And if we can work on that and make him better there, then who knows what we could do with him. His 2 marking needs a lot of work, but his pace, his acceleration are great tools. His finishing needs work. And I think if we can get on the final third of his game, then he could be amazing. He could also play as a winger too. So clearly there's something about him that is there that just needs to be unlocked. And he needs to do something with it sooner rather than later. He's definitely a centre forward though. And there's that. Laverne scored once this season in the league. Yeah, he's completely fallen off. The last couple of years, I've just lost faith in this guy. I really have. This is the worst season by some distance. And the worst part is, he's not even like he's a bad player in the big matches. He just doesn't have a preference. He's not inconsistent either. He's got potential to be a good Ligue 1 player in the future, but yeah, this guy sucks at times. And I wish I knew why he was so bad. Because you wouldn't think he has that. His 15 finishing, his 14 composure, his 14 acceleration, his 16 pace. That surely gives you the sign that he could be a player that could just be amazing, but he never lives up to it. And maybe either this is the season I sell him, or maybe this is a season I try to just make him a bench player from now on and go from there. But with the young players coming through, can I afford to keep this guy around? Donatien Traore is probably getting sold in the summer. I'm not saying it because I don't like him. I'm saying it because there's a lot of players coming through that might be wanting his spot. Out on loan in the second tier this year wasn't great. He was out on loan in the Portuguese top flight. Also got recalled because it wasn't being played. But 7 goals this year in the second tier is great. So it's a good season for that regards, but he wasn't very good elsewhere. But he's also a good third tier player. So there is that. And he is just inconsistent, isn't he? He's an international for Burkina Faso. So there's that, but he's got 3 goals for them. A deep line forward, so he could definitely work in the formation where I use that deep line playmaker. He could be a centre forward. He's not a centre midfielder. He's not a centre forward. And he could be a poacher as well. But he's got 16 composure, 13 finishing. He's not got the pace to really deal with a lot of things. But deep line forward could be amazing. I just need to figure out the best way to get the stuff out of him. I really do. But do I sell him? Maybe I do. But the reason I'm talking about the strikers coming through is because I've got Adil El Akhtawi. He's really promising. I like the look of this guy a lot. He's professional. He's not inconsistent. So there is that. He has problems with injuries, but he's got great potential to do stuff that I really think he can do things with. And there's a lot of things to like about this guy. There really is. Then we've got Antoine Kamara, who honestly would probably have been in my first team this year if it wasn't for the very serious injury he got early at this point in the season. This guy I like as well with the ability he's got in his potential arsenal. He's professional. He's got 2 years left in his current deal. But he's inconsistent, so he needs a loan move to get rid of that. There's a lot of things to like about this guy, but he also could be considered a winger, first and foremost. So there is that. But yeah, this guy's got a lot of potential, I think. And if we can get him to develop the way I think he can, then he'd be great. But then we got strikers, and oh my god, I hadn't realized he was doing this much. Jeffrey Barea. What a striker this guy could become. I think he's already improved his composure to 10, which in itself is crazy. Look at the green arrow. Look at the improvements. The holy trinity of dribbling, finishing, and first touch is wonderful. His pace is improving too. We really got him yesterday in yesterday's video, and look what he's doing already. He's crazy. He's a 4th tier player right now, but he's not inconsistent. He's consistent, and he could be really good. Like, as good as I think he can be. He'd be amazing. And he's not even professional yet. He's still a youth contract. Imagine what he'd be like when he becomes a professional footballer. Then we got Cyril Wimara, who is definitely a deep line forward. He's not got the finishing to be anything more than that. He also likes to pass instead of shooting. He likes to move his ball on the right foot before a dribble attempt, which is crazy considering his left foot's actually decent. So don't try and do that, please. Start training. Very good idea. Yes, I agree. This is why I made the point to say about it. This guy is right-footed. The other guy is left-footed. They both came in the same intake. If I get 2 superstar strikers in the same intake, then oh my god, we could be in for a very good time. Also, if I want to go for a 2-striker formation, I could have this guy on the right and we could have my other guy on the left. That's how promising I think my striker situation is now. I've got so many strikers coming through that I could just do a lot of things and have a lot of fun with it. But those are the strikers I want to talk about, and you could just look at any player we have right now and go from there. But as things stand, if I was to go for my first team formation, I'd have Tezier starting, I'll have Thiago there as well. And I'm just looking at players that I've got 4 players there, and then I'll just have Dresden here, even though it's not his best position. If I want to go for that, it would literally just do this, this, and this. I'm going to go stick with the centre midfielder though, and then we have Lodoni there. So those are the 6 players that are guaranteed to be starting for me next year. It's just what I want to do with the other positions right now, isn't it? So we've got a lot of positions we could say could do great things. And I say guaranteed, like I'm not talking about the Cinemax doing really good stuff, but even then, and Gaston and Meyer, we could say could be losing their spots at one point if the players come through develops. Like Nuri could be my starting centre back or DM next year because Gaku's only half a star better than him now. And striker, God knows who's going to be my main striker next year because Laverne's just lost his spot. And I don't trust many other people in that point. So these are the positions I know are guaranteed. And that's what I'm going to say. But what I'm going to be doing is ending things here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. I went over a lot of players because I thought it was interesting to do it this way. But anyway, out of the players I showed you, who was your favorite player? And what area do you think is my weakest part of my team? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on all that down below. But anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.